LA Zoo. Now thank you for making it out to the World of Birds show today and making it out for our open training session. So by a show of hands, how many of you guys have seen our regular full-length bird show? Quite a few. Awesome. Well, for those of you that have, you guys are in for a special treat because you're going to get a little bit of a sneak peek or a preview into how we train some of our birds for the show. And if you haven't seen our show before, you're still in for a treat because you're going to get to see a lot of cool birds flying all over the place, including right over your heads. Now, what these open training sessions allow us to do is to kind of use it like a rehearsal for some of our birds. It allows us to do some more training than we normally would. So, for example, the first birds that we're going to be introducing you to are our 3 African crowned crane sisters. Now, these 3 were raised right here at the World of Birds show, and they are going to be doing what we call an A to B behavior. They're going to come on down to point A, which hopefully you've got. That was interesting. Now, normally all 3 of them land right here on stage, but as you can see, sometimes things go a little awry. This is a free-flighted bird show, and a lot of people ask us, why don't your birds just fly away? And the answer is, obviously, they can. They can absolutely fly wherever they would like. Now, our trainers back there are wrangling up our other 2 cranes, but these 3 were raised right here at the bird show, and in order to get them trained for doing this behavior, we would walk them all the way down, give them some food right here on stage, and then we'd walk them back to their enclosure and they'd get some food there. We did that lots of repetition, back and forth and back and forth. Eventually we started reducing the amount of food or treats that they got right here and giving them a whole lot more when they finished the behavior way back there. Now, what we hope to do here in these open training sessions is give them a lot more food, which we normally don't, right over here, just to remind them that they really want to land on this stage. So this stage and our bird show area are the safest place for our birds. We want to make sure that this is where a lot of positive things happen. They get their favorite treats, hangout time with their favorite trainers. So this is a very positive place for our birds to be. So once I get word that all 3 of our cranes are back home safe and sound, it looks like they are. Now we'll try that again later. Now we're going to be introducing you to a species that is very near and dear to us. We love our vultures here at the World of Birds and at the LA Zoo in general. And we're going to be introducing you to a bird that is a veteran of our bird show. Now, every year around summer when the weather starts getting hot, even though this bird has done her routine in the show for many years, she does an elongated behavior, an A to B to C to D type behavior. She starts going a little rogue and starts stopping at other places. So normally we don't put food at all of her stops, but we use these open training sessions as a way to remind her of where we'd like her to stop, and then she gets a reward each time she stops there. So here comes our black vulture Morticia, right over your heads. Very nice. Now you'll see she's getting a delicious piece of mouse right up there on that pole. And hopefully fly back over to our archway. And then she runs backstage and into a crate. Now, crating is a really important behavior that we train most of our animals here whenever possible. It allows us to move them for any kind of evacuation we need to do, or just move them around the zoo in a stress-free way. Now, again, we're going to be introducing you to another type of bird that's going to do an A to B to C type behavior. And she's our African fish eagle. Her name is Nima, and she was hatched right here at the Los Angeles Zoo about 16 years ago. Now, as you can see, our trainer's putting that little treat right there on the rock. Now, Nima can't see the other side of that rock from where she's at. So whether there's food there's always a surprise to her. We like to keep things interesting so that the bird knows that they don't know what they're going to get when they stop at that place, but they know it's going to be something good. Now, fish eagles are found in Africa, and they're known for their unusual call. They have a really loud call that can be heard from a mile away. They're found all throughout southern Africa. Now, just like like the bald eagle is our national bird. As you can see, she does bear some resemblance to an American bald eagle. These guys are the national bird of several different African countries. Now they do hunt a lot of fish, as their name suggests. They've got great big talons for capturing prey right off the surface of the water mid-flight, but they'll also go after larger prey, sometimes even the occasional flamingo. Now, we're going to be introducing you in a few moments to a really special bird. This bird is called an Abyssinian ground hornbill, and he's going to be showing off, hopefully, how he hunts in the wild. Now, the ground hornbill is known for hunting snakes, and he's going to be showing off how he would kill a snake if he came across one in the wild. Now, the reason we have Abe, our hornbill, in this open training session is that we're coming out of breeding season for the ground hornbill, and lately, food hasn't been on his mind too much. Mostly, he is really interested in finding a girlfriend. And so, we're just now working him back into shows, and sometimes he'll kind of wander off in a daze, but looks like he's on track and focused today. So you'll see he grabs that snake right behind the head. That way, if it was a real snake, a venomous snake perhaps, it would keep that snake from turning around and biting him. It's a really natural, instinctive adaptation that these guys have to grab those snakes right behind the back of the head. Then they'll give it a good shake, and if it was a real snake, he would be able to swallow it whole. Now, he knows that's just a rubber snake, so every time he does that shake behavior, Courtney's giving him a little bit of his favorite foods, which today includes some veggies, some kibble, and if he does a really great job, he gets a mouse for his valiant effort. So great job for Abe today. Super focused, on track. No girlfriends in sight. All right, buddy. He's being a stage hog. I think that curtain is waving around in the wind. All right. Now, the Abyssinian ground hornbill is actually really, really intelligent. They've been known to hang out on the edges of wildfires and snatch up all of the critters that are fleeing away from the flames. So, really intelligent omnivore. Now, here at the LA Zoo, we take care of a lot of endangered species, some of them critically endangered. And one species that's really near and dear to our hearts is the blue-throated macaw. Now, there are fewer than 400 blue-throated macaws remaining in the wild. They're found in just a small portion of north-central Bolivia, where their habitat is getting destroyed for cattle ranges and logging, and they're being trapped illegally for the exotic pet trade. Now, Viva and Mambo here are ambassadors for their cause here at the World of Birds Show. You'll see they're doing that right all the way around our state building over your head. Now, some people ask us, how do we train that behavior? And it starts with that simple A to B, and what we'll do is call them from one point to another in a straight line, and eventually elongate that A to B out until we're able to phase out one person and it turns into a great big loop. So that's one way that we're able to take that A to B and shape it and morph it into a lot of other different kinds of behaviors. That's Viva and Mambo. Now, I mentioned those guys are critically endangered. There are fewer than 400 of them left in the wild. And at the end of the show, after this next segment, we're going to be introducing you to a bird that will actually take any dollar bill donations that you might have for the conservation of endangered species like the blue-throated macaw. So we'll be bringing out a bird at the very end that will give you that opportunity to donate towards conservation. Now, our last couple birds are a pair of scarlet macaws, and we have been training them to be the part of the finale for our show. So you guys are going to get to see a bird, a type of bird, a bird that is not in our show at all yet. They've made some appearances in front of audiences, but they're still pretty new to this. So these are going to be our scarlet macaws, Crash and Charlie. Now, Crash gets his name for a reason. So we'll see how he lands. And these guys are both scarlet macaws, native to South America. And when they come around our corner, you'll see they are extremely brightly colored. Here comes Charlie. Perfect landing there by Charlie. And you'll see they're very brightly colored. Now, a lot of animals want to have camouflage out in the wild so that they blend into the environment and don't stick out. out to predators. Parents have the exact opposite strategy. They're extremely brightly colored, and scientists believe that part of the reason that they're so brightly colored is when they are out in the wild, they live in great big flocks of hundreds of birds. Very nice there, buddy. Good job, Crash. So they'll fly in big flocks of hundreds of birds, and those hundreds of brightly colored birds become really scary to a predator. So the word that we use for that is pandemonium, when a big group of macaws all flies out all at once and scares away the predator. Well, Charlie and Crash did an amazing job today, so thank you guys for being an assistant bird show trainer audience for us. And these were our last two flying birds. Now, once Crash and Charlie make their way off stage, we will be bringing out that military macaw that I mentioned, Pickle, and she'll be taking any donations you might have for conservation. So we really appreciate your support. Last year, this simple behavior helped us earn over $50,000 for wild endangered animals. So we really do appreciate your support. Other than that, thanks for coming out today, and we will be doing our regular full-length show at 2:30 today. Thanks, guys.